Hey guys, Jess here with Sass and Crafts, and today I'm going to show you how to make an American flag out of ribbon. Let me just show you real quick what the end result will be. It's going to be something like this that you can hang on your wall. So let me just show you real quick what you're going to need. You are going to need fabric. I chose 4 different kinds of red fabric, about an inch apart and about 36 inches long, because what you're going to do is you're going to actually fold it in half, so you want it to have a little bit of length. So it's about an inch wide, doesn't have to be perfect, and about 36 inches long for the red. And then the blue, I have 3 different kinds that I'm going to be using for the blue. So these about an inch wide and about 24 inches long, because again, you're going to be folding it in half. So you want it to have a little bit of length. So you're going to need fabric. Is handy if you have a cutting mat, but not necessary. Life is a lot easier with a rotary cutter or at least a pair of scissors to get started with, because I'm going to show you how you can zip through this fabric real quick. And then you can use either a dowel that you can just get at your craft store, hobby store, probably even your home improvement store like Lowe's or Home Depot, or you can go into your floral section of your craft store, and they should have like decorative twigs like this. I actually got like a pack of 3 or 4 of these from Hobby Lobby that were on clearance for $4, originally $20, so score. So I'm going to actually use this. So now what you need to do to get your fabric ready, I got most of it done because I don't want to bore anybody with watching me cut and rip fabric the whole time, is you just take your fabric and you lay it out on your mat. If you can even do the simple part, Jess. Come on now. All right. Don't worry too much about any of the little stragglers here. You'll just get rid of those. So for the blue pieces, I did about 6 of them. It really varies. It's personal preference how many pieces you want of the red and how many you want of the blue. So, it's one of those things where try it, and if you think you want to squeeze in more, then squeeze in more. So what I did was I cut my fabric at 1-inch increments, and I didn't cut it all the way through, as you saw. Save yourself some time. Just give yourself a little bit of a slit right here, so you can just rip the fabric. That's all you're going to do. You're just going to rip it. And I will tell you, my kids love doing this. They feel like, ooh, it's so destructive, but we can do this. So it's kind of funny when they hear me ripping fabric. They could be on the other side of the house and they'll hear me ripping fabric and they'll come running. Can we help? Absolutely. This is definitely one of those crafts that you can have your kids help out in doing the ripping. So, and then you're going to just want to go through, because you'll find that when you rip, you'll get like a lot of the loose pieces of string, and I just go through and I just get rid of, the string before I start working. So sometimes I'll just take a whole pile of ribbon that I have cut and sit on the couch and watch TV and get all these little straggler pieces of thread off of my fabric here. Now you can do the same thing, because I think I actually just said ribbon when I meant fabric. I got the idea someplace they used ribbon instead. But when I tried it out, it was going to be so expensive to use as much ribbon as I, would have liked to make it pretty. And I had tons of fabric laying around, and I was like, you know what, we'll try this with fabric. And I still think it would be cost effective, because you can get a yard of fabric that, actually you could probably just get half a yard of fabric and it'll do you pretty good, and you could probably make a couple of things out of a half a yard of fabric for each color that you want to do. And then I'm just going to go through and just cut them at the 24. Again, it's not perfection. It's okay if it's a little over. Because what you can always do at the end is just go through and trim them. If you feel that it's too long, just go through and trim them. Easy peasy. So I thought this was a nice, simple, easy craft to make with 4th of July coming up. I know that I'm a seasonal decorator. Very rarely do I have things out the whole year. Obviously, like pictures and, you know, mementos and stuff like that I'll have out the whole year. But my husband laughs because I have bins of seasonal stuff. I have bins that is strictly just fall. And then not to be confused with the stuff that I have for Halloween, and not to be confused with the stuff that I have for Thanksgiving. You know, just things like that. My husband gets so aggravated because he'll start to go through everything in one bin. And I'm like, no, 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 you can't do that. That's my Halloween bin. And he's just like, oh my gosh, just throw it all in a bin. So I started getting all of my 4th of July and patriotic stuff out. And I was like, you know what? I am going to make my own craft this year. So, okay. So that's all cut. So now we're going to take our rod or dowel or whatever you're going to use, and we're going to make something called a lark's knot. And all that is you would fold it in half like this, okay? And then you're going to take the folded edge over like that. And then you see how you can make a loop. See that little loop right there? You are going to bring your tails right through that loop. Now don't pull it super tight, because I have found when I did the other one that you will want to adjust and slide. So don't pull it super tight, you know, like that, because then you got to go through and work it loose anyway to figure out, you know, where exactly, because I found once I got it, you know, I had it all done, and then I went to go put it on the wall and it wasn't hanging right. So then I had to go through and loosen up all of them and situate it while it was actually on the wall to see where I wanted all of the ribbons to lay. So that's all you're going to do, is you're just going to alternate, and you'll find, depending on how you do your loop, you'll notice I'm going over the top. That's because I want my knot right here to be at the front. Obviously, if you were to go to behind, your knot's going to be in the back, and we don't want that. So again, just fold it in half, loop it over the top, have your finger there through that little hole, and then just pull it on through. And like I said, you can make it, you know, nice down, you know, the road here. Right now, we're just going to worry about getting them on. So honestly, the longest part of this craft is cutting and ripping the ribbon and getting all of the little straggler pieces of thread off of there. That's actually what takes the longest of this craft. So, but like I said, I will cut all my pieces of fabric, and then I'll just go sit on the couch and I'll rip, and then I'll pull the pieces of string off, and you'll see right there how it had flipped over. Again, you don't want it tight, because then you can go through and just fix it, and then you just start the process all over again. I just stuck with 4 different types of red that had a little bit of white in them, obviously, because the American flag is red and white on the stripes. But you could do just 2 pieces of fabric if you wanted, or 6 pieces of fabric, however many different variations of red and white that you would like. I know right now, oh, there's 2 there. I know right now, like at Hobby Lobby, they have their 4th of July fabric out. So, which that is where I work part-time, mainly just so I can get the employee discount so I can support my craft habit. But I work in the fabric department, so I see all of the different fabrics that get to come in. So I know we just got our 4th of July. Actually, we had 4th of July in for quite a while now, but then COVID happened and our stores here in New York actually shut down for a couple of months. So you also notice too, sometimes it'll go like that where one side is flipped. Just gotta work it. That's all you gotta do. You just gotta twist it around while you're tightening that lark's knot there, just so both pieces are facing the same way. And if they're not, honestly, not that big of a deal, because once it gets on the wall, it's really not going to matter anyway. But if you're like me, as you're going along, you kind of get a little squirrely about stuff like that. So, but believe it or not, all of our Christmas stuff is starting to come in too at Hobby Lobby, which everybody's already, why do you have Christmas stuff out? It's like, well, actually, for the crafters, this is when they start working on stuff for their craft fairs and stuff that they have coming up. So, yeah, it seems a little crazy that we may have Christmas stuff in the store already, but it really does serve a purpose. So, and I know that our hallway to our break room, it is like a little goat path to get to the break room because it's all got Christmas trees and stuff back there, because we haven't put those out yet, obviously. But anybody else going through withdrawal from their craft store when everything was shut down? I think I was just going through withdrawal in general, just not being able to go anywhere. It was just like, holy smokes. And if I did have to venture out for whatever reason, just I felt like I was, like in a zombie apocalypse or something, because everything was just so dead and there weren't any cars out there, and I would expect a zombie to come walking around the corner or something, because it just felt like, like I Legend or, 28 Days or whatever that one zombie movie is, where like there's nobody out on the streets except for the people that you don't want to see on the streets. So, but life seems to slowly be getting back to normal here. So I'm just going to do one more red, because you get the idea of this. You're just going to alternate your ribbon. Clearly I'm not going to do the whole thing, because this really was supposed to be just like a short tutorial. But again, just keep them loose. That way you can, adjust them, slide them, as you need to, because chances are once you get it onto the wall, you are going to have to slide things around and move it anyway. So just to get it to lay against the wall the way you'd like it to. So I'm just going to slide these down, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the blue on. I wanted to show you something real quick. Now with the one that I did before, the pre-made one, I only did like one of each different type. I had 3 different types of blue, and then I just did one of each. And I only used, 2 of each one, and I wanted it to be a little bit fuller. As you can see right there, that's not bad, but I think I want it a little fuller. So what I'm going to do now is I have my 3 different ones. I think I am going to put them all together What I've decided to do is just take 3 of them at once. So line them all up together as best as you can. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Fold it in half. And then you're going to try and go between. It's a little trickier to do because you got 3 of them at once, but it can be done. I try to go between the reds there and then pull it tight, or somewhat tight. So, but yeah, I think I like that better with 3 of them at once. It's a little fuller doing it that way. And that's the nice thing about when you're crafting. You can have a vision in your mind and you go to do it and you're like, you know, that just doesn't look the way I had envisioned in my mind. And then you just tweak it. That is the beauty of crafting. So you can just tweak things until you get them to the way you want them to be. See why you don't want to have it too tight, because you don't want to be fighting with your ribbons to move them on your wood there. So I goofed on that one. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oops, I have 2 there. 1, 2. All right. This will be my last example. I'm gonna move on and wrap this thing up. But I hope you found this video helpful. I would love it if you subscribed to my channel. I also have a Facebook page at Sass and Crafts CNY or Sass and Crafts NY. I'll have to go look. It's pretty bad when you're drawing a blank. But I also have a website, sassandcrafts.com, that has that link there. Plus I'm on Pinterest. So, all right, so you get a general idea of what it's going to be like. I'll pull this stuff out of the way and lay that down, but get a general idea. That's what it's going to be like. And then all you need to do to finish it up is you just take some twine or jute and you're just going to wrap it around on the edges, you know, however much length that you want it to be hanging on your wall. And that is it. And again, if you want to see what the finished one looks like, I am going to go back through and tweak it just a little bit. Actually, whoops, wrong way. Blue's got to be on that side. Well, for me at least. Finished product right there. Really easy to do. So again, if you don't have a piece of wood like this, you could even probably just go out and grab a branch off your tree or something. Wooden dowel works too. And if you don't want to use fabric, you can always use ribbon too. The concept is still the same. Just do a Lark's knot, or you take your length of fabric or ribbon, fold it in half, put it over your piece of wood until you got that little hole right there, and you're going to feed your tails through that hole and then pull it tight, just like that. So again, my name is Jess from Sass and Crafts. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. I would love it if you subscribe to my channel, and I will be back another time with a different craft. Have a great day, guys. Bye.